Hello everyone, good morning. Can you see my screen everyone? Can you hear me? Can you confirm anyone? Am I audible? Yeah, in the last session we discussed about question and answers, right? Technical questions, general questions, fine. And before that we discussed about DevOps introduction and also cloud introduction, right? So today we are going to discuss about SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. Yeah, anyone newly joined today? Today first session joined anyone? Can you share your WhatsApp number and the email address in the chat? The GoToMeeting chat, can you share your WhatsApp number and email address here so that we'll provide you previous recordings. Yeah, my mobile number already shared with you, 96422111711. This is my mobile number. So everyone take down this number. Yeah. So anyone joined today, first session, please share your WhatsApp number, email address in the chat. Fine. Yeah, let's go and discuss about this SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. Okay. So in development environment, so how the development process will be happened. Okay. So every organization, what is the methodology they are following currently? So previously, like 10 years before, 8 years before, so we used to use waterfall, right? So 8 years back, what is waterfall? Waterfall is a sequential development. Sequential development, right? In sequential development, so when the developers get any requirement from client, they used to take 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years like that. So currently we are using parallel development, which is agile methodology. So in agile methodology, so when they receive the request from client, within the 2 weeks, within the 3 weeks, within the 1 month, like that. So one application will be divided into bits and pieces like sprints. Okay, that sprint should be completed within the time frame. It can be 1 week sprint, 1 month sprint, right? So 1 week sprint, for example, 1 week sprint. So today one sprint started. By next Thursday EOD that should be completed. Okay, so parallelly the development will be happened in real-time projects. So one application divided into bits and pieces. That bits and pieces we can call it as sprints, right? So every organization currently they're using agile methodology. Agile is very popular now. See, in agile, these are the stages available. These are the stages. Okay. Yeah. First, what they will do, they gather the requirement. Developers, they gather the requirements. Okay. So client give the requirements. So they gather the requirements. So after that, they design, develop. So they work on coding part. They prepare the application. They prepare the plugins. They prepare the front end UI. They prepare the back end API development. They develop the databases, right? So after that, they integrate all this. Okay, development will be happening in different stages. Okay, so after that, testing should be happened. So without testing, the application will not be deployed onto respective production servers, project servers. Okay, once the development is completed, testing should be happened. Testing. So by using unit test cases, right? Automation set testing or manual testing, testers test the code. Fine. So after that, the application should be deployed onto respective target servers. So once that application is deployed, then they review the application, they check the application. So normal users, they can access the application through internet, right? Yeah. So these are the stages. These are the 7 important stages. Every project team they're using in Agile. So these are the very important stages, 7 stages. So plan means requirement gathering, requirement finalization, right? Updates, new changes, architecture design, task management, task assignment. These are all will be, yeah, developers, they gather all the information, right? So after that, code is development should be started, right? So after that, by using the CI/CD tools, continuous integration, continuous delivery tools, what we will do, we build the code. We build the code. So after that, testing should be happened. Testing by using unit test cases, right? They test the code. Testers test the code. So after that, once testing is completed, yeah, so it will move to the release, right? So normally developers always talk about release. We have this weekend release, next weekend release, right? So yeah, when they have release, so by the time they work late nights, so 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., midnight, right? So like that, till complete that sprint, they work on the application, right? They move to release. So after that, we deploy. Once it is moved to release, yeah, that is ready to deploy. So we deploy the application. After that, we can operate the application. So these are the 7 stages. So here, while attending interviews, interviewer asks you, what is the development process, what is the CSD process, what is the deployment process, they ask you, right? So we need to explain this. So let us go and work on some examples here. Okay, so this deployment process examples. Now build and release process or application deployment process. Okay, yeah, developer develop the code in their local workspace. For example, three developers. Okay, yeah, these are the developers, developer A, developer B, developer C, three developers. Developer develop the code in their local workspace. What is workspace, anyone? What is workspace, anyone? Developer develop the code in their local workspace. Workspace is a local system, local laptop or desktop. They start the development in their local workspace. Okay, so this local workspace, you can call it as local git or git local. Developers always work on the git local git. Okay, so in local git, they develop the code, they modify the code, they change the code, right? So yeah, once the development is completed, what they will do, they push the code to GitHub. Once development is completed, they push the code to GitHub, which is a remote repository. Yeah, so git local, GitHub. So local repository, remote repository, right? So basically, what is Git? What is Git? Git is a Git is a repository tool or version control tool. Git is a repository tool or version control tool, right? In local repository, developers always develop the applications. Okay, they develop the code, they modify the code, they change the code, they push the code, they pull the code. So number of times they work on the local repository. So once the development is completed, they push the code to remote server, which is a remote repository, which is GitHub. So Git is a repository tool. What is repository? Where developers store the data, which is repository, right? And version control. What is version control? So multiple developers work on their local Git, right? So who is doing what? How can we track? For example, 10 developers are working on the application development. Okay, so one guy is working on front end UI. So others, they are working on back end. Others, they are working on database, right? Like that, they divided. Okay, so who is doing what? How can we track? By using version control system, we can track. So here, three developers are working on local git. So one guy is working on front end, back end, database. So who is doing what changes they are performing. Okay, what are the tabs they added? What are the API development? Right, by using version control system, we track all the changes. Okay, yeah. So here, when we talk about version control, here we have some parameters. In version control system, we have parameters. What are those? Who did changes? When did changes? And what purpose did changes? Who did changes? When did changes? What purpose did changes? Right. So based on this comment, Git will track the versioning. Right. So for example, who did changes? Ram did changes. When did changes? Right. So by 7 a.m. IST on 3rd or 4th October did some changes. Okay, by 7 a.m. IST. So what purpose did changes? Due to some production issue, did some changes. Okay, so who did changes? When did changes? What purpose did changes? So based on these comments, Git will track the versioning. Okay, yeah. So version control system is very important. So multiple developers, when they work on their development applications, development activities, so we can easily track the changes. Who did what? Who did changes? When did changes? What purpose did changes? So based on these comments, it will track the versioning. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So once development is completed, the code will be pushed to remote repository, which is GitHub. So here our code is available here. Okay. So in this build and release process, yeah, next stage is so we have here in this flow we have a Jenkins server. Jenkins. This is the Jenkins server. So what is Jenkins? What Jenkins will do? Jenkins is a CI/CD tool. What is CI/CD? Continuous integration, continuous delivery, or continuous deployment. Okay. So Jenkins is a mediator tool, right? It will integrate all the tools. It will communicate all the tools by installing plugins. So in DevOps we have multiple tools are there. All the tools are individual tools. One tool will not communicate other tool. So Jenkins is the mediator tool. It will communicate all the tools. It will integrate all the tools by installing plugins. You understanding that, everyone? Everyone following, right? Yeah. So in this build and release process, we have CI/CD tool, which is Jenkins. Okay. So Jenkins is a mediator in between all the tools. So in DevOps, you have multiple tools are there. All the tools are individual tools. One tool will not communicate other tool. So Jenkins is the mediator tool. It will integrate all the tools, will communicate all the tools by installing plugins. What is plugin? Plugin is a software. Plugin is a package. For example, I want to pull this code from GitHub to Jenkins, right? So if you want to pull the code from GitHub to Jenkins, very first thing we need to install GitHub plugin in Jenkins. Yeah, GitHub plugin we need to install inside of the Jenkins. So plugin is a package software. Once we install the plugin in Jenkins, Jenkins start communicating with the GitHub. Okay. Yeah. So once we install the plugin, after that in Jenkins, so we need to prepare jobs. My requirement here is I want to pull this code from GitHub to Jenkins. Okay. So if I want to pull the code from GitHub to Jenkins as a DevOps engineer, what I will do, I prepare jobs here. I trigger the job. Once I trigger the job, once I build the job, this code will be pulled from GitHub to Jenkins. Okay. Yeah. So manually we don't perform any activities in Agile methods. So by preparing the jobs only, right? Once we trigger the job, the code will be pulled from GitHub to Jenkins. So once the code is moved to GitHub to Jenkins, so this code we can say this is the This is the raw code. Raw code. What is raw code? Raw code is a unstructured code, unformatted code, right? So normally developers they prepare in different formats, different files, right? So they push the code to GitHub remote repository, which is the remote server. So remote server only we can integrate with the GitHub. Sorry, remote server only we can integrate with the Jenkins. So local Git we cannot integrate here. So after that, so we prepare jobs here, we integrate GitHub with the Jenkins and we run the job. We trigger the job. Once we trigger the job, this code will be pulled from GitHub to Jenkins. Once the code is pulled from GitHub to Jenkins, so which is a raw code, this raw code we cannot directly deploy onto respective target servers. So here we have application servers available here, which are, for example, this is the Tomcat server, application server, app server, or Tomcat server, app server or Tomcat server. So in place of Tomcat, we can use any application server like WebLogic server, WebSphere server, right? Yeah, any web servers or any application servers we can use for the we can use here for deployments. Yeah. So whatever the code we pull from GitHub to Jenkins, which is raw code, so raw code will not be allowed by application servers, right? So that is why so we integrate one more tool here, which is Maven. What is Maven? What Maven will do? Maven is a build tool. Maven is a build tool. So which will generate artifacts. Maven generates artifacts. What is artifact? Anyone? Maven generates artifacts. What is artifact? Anyone? Artifact is a archive file, binary file, right? So whatever the raw code we pull from GitHub to Jenkins, yeah, which will not understand by application server. That is why we integrate one more tool, which is Maven. So Maven take the raw code from Jenkins, it will convert into one artifact. So as a single file, like war file, jar file, ER file, right? So for example, Java development is happening here. Java development. Java development. So when we talk about development, three types of developments. Normally, three types of developments available here. Okay. First one is desktop application development. Desktop app development. What is desktop application development? Anyone? Desktop application. So the application which we run in our desktop, our laptop, locally, whatever the applications are running, those are desktop applications. For example, calculator. Calculator I can use in my local system. So I cannot access your calculator. You cannot access my calculator. That is, yeah, that we can use in our local system only, right? That is a desktop application. Paintbrush, calculator, media player. These are all desktop applications. Okay, yeah. So Java team they are working on Java development. They are developing desktop applications. If the application is desktop application, Maven generates jar file, jar, Java archive file. Maven generates Java archive file, jar file. Okay. So if the developers are working on web application, Maven generates war file, war, web archive file. So if the application team is working on enterprise applications, Maven generates ER file, enterprise archive file. So based on the application development, Maven generates the respective artifacts, either desktop application, web application, or enterprise application. So Maven generates respective format. Once it is generated WAR file or jar file or ER file, for example, WAR file generated here, Maven. That WAR file will be give back to Jenkins. That WAR file will be pushed to application server. Jenkins push that WAR file to application server. In application server, we deploy the WAR file. Clear, right, everyone? Any questions here, anyone? Online guys? Up to here, it is clear, right, everyone? This is build and release process in Agile methodology. So every project team they're following this same process. Okay, yeah. For example, in your laptop you have 200 documents are available. Okay, so I asked you to send those documents to me. How can we send? How can you send that documents? What is the simplest way? What is the simplest way to send the documents? How can you send the documents, anyone? You have 200 documents available in your laptop, PDF documents. I asked you to send those documents to me. So how can you send the documents? Anyone? How the simple way? What is the simplest way to send those? Yeah, someone is saying something like GIF file, right? Instead of attaching all the files to the Gmail or any other mail, we can convert into one zip file as a single file that we can attach to the email and send it across, right? So the same way, whatever the raw code is available on Jenkins, so instead of deploying raw code into application servers, by using Maven, we convert into artifact as a single file. So here application servers understand only jar file, war file, ER file, archive artifacts only, right? So by using Maven, we can convert into artifact. That artifact will be give back to Jenkins. Jenkins push that artifact to application server. Here we deploy the war file or jar file or ER file. Clear, right, everyone? So this is a live application deployment. Live application deployment. For example, so we have Flipkart application. Flipkart. In Flipkart, what will happen? So every moment some changes will be happened in the Flipkart. Every moment. So for example, here these are all, we can say these are all microservices. These are all microservices. Okay, these are all microservices. So every moment the pricing will be changed, products will be upgraded, right? And some products will be removed if the stock is not available, out of stock. Okay, or else they give some offers, festival offers, right? So every moment the pricing will be changed here. Okay, who will change that? Backend development team. Okay, so they modify the code in their local git. Once the code is modified, once the added some changes here, they push the code to GitHub. So from GitHub, Jenkins pull the code, and by using Maven, it will convert into artifact, deploy onto respective Flipkart server. Once that is deployed onto respective Flipkart server, so the changes will be reflected to the website. This will be happening live. Okay, yeah. So we have non-live applications also, right? So Flipkart is a live application. Non-live applications also available, which are, we can say here, harshatrainings.com. This is a non-live application. So in non-live applications, what we will do, whatever the WAR files generated by Maven, those WAR files we can store in Nexus Artifactory tool, Nexus repository. Okay, so here we store the WAR files. We create repositories here. We store the WAR file in Nexus. So whenever we have release, by the time this WAR files we can push to the respective application servers, and we deploy onto respective application servers. Clear, right, everyone? Everyone following, right? Everyone understanding, right, here? In live application, WAR file convert into Maven convert into WAR file or jar file, or ER file, that artifact we can directly push to the web application like web servers or Tomcat servers or JBoss servers, any application servers, right? In non-live applications, whatever WAR file generated by Maven, those WAR files we can store in the Nexus repository. So whenever we have release, by the time this WAR files we can push to the respective applications, application servers, then we can deploy onto respective application servers. Clear, right, everyone? Yeah. Any questions here you can ask before moving to next process. Anyone having any questions, you can ask me now.
Ram, so this if we have developed a .NET application, so Maven will take care of that, right? It will create
Any
the required.
application, not only
Okay,
Java application, not only Python application, not only .NET application, Maven support any application,
okay,
Scala,
thank you.
right? Salesforce, any development active. Maven is very advanced tool. So 75% of the project teams are using Maven. In place of Maven, we can use other tools also, but Maven is very popular tool. Fine. Yeah. So we are talking about development and build and release process here by using Jenkins, and we are talking about application servers and artifacts, Nexus repos. But here, where the testing will be happen, where the testing will be happen. Okay. Yeah. So here, whatever the code pushed to the GitHub, whatever the code developed by developers, once they push the code to GitHub, so here we integrate one more tool here, which is Sonar code review tool. Sonar code review tool. Sonar code review. What is Sonar? What it will do? Right? What is the functionality of Sonar code review? Okay. Sonar code review tool is a code review tool. Every project team they are using, they are managing their yeah, what every organization, every project team they are maintaining the code standards, right? For example, yeah, in my previous organization, we used to use different code standard tool, which is a third party tool. Actually, that is third party tool. So that we used, okay. But most of the organization they're using Sonar. Sonar is the tool. It is mainly for code review, code standards. Okay. So any duplicate lines are there, errors are there, right? So Sonar always review the code and it will provide the report to testers. Okay. In Sonar review, what they will do, testers, they create some metrics. Okay. What are the metrics they create? So any duplicate lines are there. Any more than two duplicate lines are there. More than two errors are there. So automatically Sonar capture that. It will provide the report to the testers. By using manual testing or automation testing, Selenium testing, they test the code. So after that, Sonar review the code. So once the Sonar is reviewed, then it will move to the next level. Okay. So every organization they maintain some code standards, right? So for example, there is a Flipkart application. So in this Flipkart application, for example, duplicate lines are there. What will happen? This product will show you 3 4 times. Any errors, fixes are there. So when you try to book the product, it will not allow you to book. That is why. So development team, testing team, they coordinate and they work on the fixes issues. Finally, Sonar review the code. Once review the code by Sonar, that will be moved to the next level. Okay, clear, right, everyone? Sonar is a code review tool. Yeah, every project team they maintain the code standards. Yeah, duplicate lines, errors, right? Uh, Sonar review the duplicate lines, errors. and it provides the report to the testers. Fine. Yeah. So every organization they're following the same CSV flow, same build and release process. So in parallel development, these are all required, right? So Jenkins is very core tool here, very important tool. So every tool we integrate with the Jenkins only. So even though Nexus also, right? So Nexus I connected here, but Nexus directly integrate with the Jenkins only. Okay. How can we integrate? How can we integrate? By installing plugin, right? Plugins. Every tool, if, yeah. So we require plugin here. Every tool, whatever the tools you want to integrate, plugin required. Okay. So yeah, how to deploy the plugins? How can we configure the plugins? How can we integrate all the tools with the Jenkins? Practically, we'll see that. Practically, we'll work on this. Okay. So from local Git to yeah Tomcat server, how the code will be flow. Practically, we integrate. We work on this. I have simple uh, some sample code is available with me, so that I'll show you while working on the build this process. Okay. So here I have GitHub repository. In the GitHub repository, this is a repository. In this repository, I have sample code. So this code developed by someone. I'm not developer. Okay. I took the code for deployments. See here. Here we have HTML code is there. See here. Developer developed the code. As a DevOps engineer, we don't need to worry about the coding part. We don't need to worry about the testing part also. This is the simple HTML code. This code we can deploy onto respective servers while working on Jenkins. Clear, right, everyone? Any questions here, anyone? Any questions here? Yeah, fine. Next one. So along with these tools, we have advanced tools also, right? What are those? We have advanced tools like Ansible. What is Ansible? What Ansible will do? Anyone? What is Ansible? What Ansible will do? Ansible is a configuration management tool. It is a configuration management tool. So the name itself it is saying configuration, right? So whatever the automation deployments are there. So normally Ansible, what we will do? Sometimes we integrate with the Jenkins here. So Ansible you can integrate here. Here. Jenkins trigger the job to Ansible. Ansible deploy the code on respective target servers. Here we can deploy the Ansible. Okay. Jenkins trigger to Ansible. Ansible go and deploy the application on Tomcat server. So integrations are very easier by installing plugin on just to install plugin package that will be integrated. Okay. So Ansible is a configuration management tool, and we have other tools also. So like Docker. Docker is a container tool. What is container, anyone? What is container? Container is a standard unit of software. So in general, container is a box, just like box, right? We can move that box to anywhere. We can use anywhere. Okay. So container is a box. So it is advanced to virtual servers. Container is a box which is advanced to virtual server, right? So currently we are using virtual servers, right? Virtual servers, cloud, even cloud servers also virtual servers. Cloud servers also virtual servers, right? Yeah. Next one, Kubernetes. What is Kubernetes? Kubernetes is a container orchestration tool. Container orchestration. What is orchestration, anyone? What is orchestration, anyone? What is orchestra? Anyone having idea? What is orchestra? Music instruments, right? So together they play the musicians. They play the instruments, right? So in between the instruments, one person stands and he will move the hands. Is the orchestration. He control all the instruments. He direct all the instruments, right? So Kubernetes is a container orchestration tool. What it will do? So it will manage all the domains, all the target servers. It is a daemon. Kubernetes is a daemon. It is a advanced tool. Kubernetes is a daemon which is advanced to Docker. In Docker, we have some drawbacks. Still, we have some drawbacks. So Docker launched in 2013. So immediately Kubernetes launched after 1 year. Kubernetes is a Google product. Okay. So currently Docker, Kubernetes, these two tools are very currently every project they're using very hot in the market. Docker, Kubernetes, right? So that is why everyone should focus on Docker and Kubernetes. If you are good in Docker and Kubernetes, you can easily crack your entry. Okay. Yeah. So after that, next tool is Terraform. So Terraform also, yeah, very advanced tool. So every project is using Terraform also. Terraform is a infrastructure automation tool. Infrastructure automation tool. Terraform is a infrastructure automation tool. Okay. So what is infrastructure? Anyone? What is infrastructure? Servers, storage, network, right? So for example, if you want to create 1,000 servers with all packages, all configurations, by using Terraform, we can create within a minute. In cloud, by using Terraform, within a minute, we can create n number of servers, not only 1,000 servers. So n number of servers you can create. So Terraform is very advanced tool, very core tool, which will manage all the infrastructure. In real-time projects, always we use the Terraform to automate the infrastructure. Clear it, everyone? So along with this, we have monitoring tools are available, so which are Grafana and also Prometheus. Grafana and Prometheus. So these two tools, yeah. So these are the monitoring tools. Okay. Yeah. So by using these tools, we can monitor and we can create the dashboards also. We can monitor our Kubernetes, Docker, by using Grafana Prometheus, we can monitor and also we can create the dashboards. So how much CPU utilization is utilizing, how much RAM utilizing, how much any cluster issues are happening. These are all we can monitor using Grafana Prometheus. Okay, so these six tools are very core tools. Okay, so Kubernetes, Docker, these two tools are very widely every project they're using. So currently every organization they're using digital applications, right? Digital applications. So yeah, backend they're using Docker containers, Kubernetes orchestration they're using backend. So when we book any product, the product will be delivered within minutes also. For example, we book the groceries in the Jendo, Dupcho, something, Blinkit, right? So they deliver within 5 to 10 minutes only. How they are delivering? So when we book the groceries, so immediately the process, yeah, request will be processed. Backend they are using very advanced infrastructure, right? So and also 2 weeks back I booked one mobile. I booked one mobile which is OnePlus latest mobile. Okay, they delivered within 4 hours because yeah, so it is very earlier like 5 years back, 4 years back, when we book any product they used to take nearly 1 week, 10 days like that. So currently they are managing here local warehouses, right? So when we book any product, immediately the request is processing, right? So they deliver within hours, within hours. Okay. Yeah. So in lockdown time 2020, so everyone used the online only because of Docker Kubernetes. So current, yeah, now it is, yeah, most of the companies, most of the project teams, they're using Kubernetes Docker. Fine. Any questions up to here, anyone? So entire codes in entire DevOps codes, we follow the same flow. We start with Git, we end with Tomcat here. Okay. So along with this, we work on Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, Grafana, Prometheus. This process is very, very important. Clear, right, everyone?
Ram, can you explain this Docker once more?
Yeah, Docker is a container tool, right? So Docker is advanced virtual servers. Currently, we are deploying applications on virtual servers. So in place of virtual server, we use the Docker containers. So containers are advanced to virtual servers, right? So currently, every project team they are using Docker containers to reduce the time, to reduce the costing. Docker containers are very faster, lightweight, standalone. Yeah, so in our course, Docker takes nearly 8 days. We'll go very deep, right? So while working on Docker, how to configure Docker, how can we run the containers, how can we deploy the live applications on Docker containers, how can we access through internet, how can we work on Docker networking. These are all we discuss. Docker is a container tool, advanced virtual servers. Clear it, everyone? Any other questions, anyone? Anyone having any other questions here? Yeah, fine. Whatever the code developed by developers, that code we can deploy onto respective target servers, or else we can deploy onto Docker containers, or else we can deploy onto Kubernetes pods. In Kubernetes, there is a pod concept. In place of servers, we can use the Docker containers or Kubernetes pods. Okay. Yeah, that we will, yeah, practically we'll work on this. Practically, we can integrate the containers and also pods here. Okay. So while working on Kubernetes, while working on Docker, so practically we integrate the containers and pods here. Okay. Yeah, fine. So far we completed 4 sessions, right? So first one is the DevOps introduction. Second one is cloud introduction. Third session is question and answers, technical questions, general questions. So today SDLC also we discussed. Okay. So Monday onwards regular sessions will be started. Okay. The people who are not registered so far, you can register today itself and you can add into WhatsApp group. Okay. So Monday onwards, the link may be changed, meeting link, online guys. So people already registered. Okay. Yeah, Monday onwards link will be changed. So if you are interested, you can make the fee and you can add into WhatsApp group. So in WhatsApp group already 10 people, more than 10 people already registered. Okay. Yeah, so you can register as soon as possible if you are interested and you can add into WhatsApp group. So that we will share all the information in the WhatsApp group only. Yeah, so Monday onwards, Monday, Tuesday, we are going to work on basic networking, basic servers, the IP addresses, load balancers, and firewalls, failovers. These are all we discuss. Clusters. Okay. So after that, we'll move to AWS. So Monday, Tuesday, we are going to work on basics. After that, we'll start AWS. Okay. Yeah. So everyone required laptop and internet connectivity. Okay. So daily basis, everyone should practice. If you follow the process, if you practice daily basis, within the 3 months, you can easily crack your interview. You can easily get into the project. Right. Yeah. Any more questions? Everyone got the course content, right? Everyone having course content, right? Yeah. So Monday, our classes would be Monday to Friday. Sometimes I'll take weekends also, Saturdays and Sundays. So we'll conduct some. weekend workshops. Okay, Saturday 2 hours, Sunday 2 hours. Sometimes we conduct that. Okay, so within the 3 months, we can cover all the concepts in depth. Okay, in AWS, nearly 45 services will be covered. In DevOps, nearly 14 tools will be covered. Okay, yeah, fine. So here we can. Any questions in the last question? Anyone? Last question, anyone? So I shared my number already. If you have any more questions, you can reach out to me. You can call me, you can WhatsApp me so that we'll discuss. Okay. So you can add into WhatsApp group as soon as possible so that you'll get all the information in the WhatsApp group only.
Uh,
Fine.
Ram, regarding this certification, AWS certification. So after how many days we can attempt that exam? Uh,
Fine. Yeah. So once complete the networking part, you can start preparing the exam. So I'll guide you how to clear the exam. If you need any support to clear the exam, definitely I give you support also. Okay, I'll guide you. So how can you, what are the topics you need to prepare? So how can you attend the exam, right? So I'll give you guidance. So if you need any support, definitely I give you support to clear the exam. So any certification, not only AWS, if you want to write Azure, Google Cloud, or Kubernetes, Jenkins, any certification, I'll give you guidance. I'll help you to clear the exam. Fine. Yeah. So everyone, yeah, make sure everyone add into the WhatsApp group from Monday onwards. Okay. So Monday we are going to start regular sessions. Fine. Yeah. You can wind up here. So if you have any more questions, you can reach out to this number 96422 11 711. Fine. Yeah. Thank you all.